Alright, top left side, a blue Protoss fighting for Alpha Axe. It is a classic. A man, a myth, legends. Another one right here in the bottom right side, another Alpha Axe member. Neither of them having a lot of success so far in this tournament. For one of them, that is going to turn around. Is it going to be this man, Alpha Axe's Zerg RAGNAROK? That was a horrible... Wait, hold up. Let me try that again. It is RAGNAROK. Ah, no, that was bad as well. Alright, we'll get better with it again, I guess. There's a water bottle on my mouse pad right now, so I'm a bit frightful of just yeeting my mouse as quickly as I can somewhere. I get a real good feel for motion blur. Alright, that's the probe. Ready to do its thing. We'll just let him do it, of course. Not much else we can do about it. I think it would be funny though if there was like a referee unit that would just be walking around. When anything happens like this, you know, the ref could be just like, no, don't do that. This is like spitting in someone's eye when you're fighting. You don't do it. It's unsportsmanship. No one likes it. No one wants to see it. Get out of here. Okay, nothing too peculiar just quite yet for this match. Stargates, I mean, that's pretty much what we always expect in the PvZ matchup. There's going to be an Oracle or a Void Ray. Looks like a Void Ray to me with the waypoints right already scooped up on that Overlord right there. As the Adept doesn't really get anywhere. Just making sure that there's not a big fleet of roaches already coming along. Last time we saw RAGNAROK, by the way, in this matchup, we did see him commit to a whole lot of atrocities, war crimes running across the map with a lot of queens. Now we know that is no longer possible with the new patch, but is it still going to be working out here for RAGNAROK regardless? Somehow, some way. We know he has a lot of different ways of doing this anyway, right? But he is making a lot of queens. He is still making a large quantity of queens, right? Hasn't really stopped that production. Still, look at that. Back up to 3 again. He's just endlessly producing 3 queens. Now, it could just be for defensive purposes. Sure. But you know what? Knowing RAGNAROK as I do, I don't think this is going to be a defensive play. We'll have to see how he starts getting creep across the map here. So I need my chat window there again as well. I want to see all the beautiful Korean characters running by in the chat screen, so I know there's some people watching the without any understanding of what I'm saying, but they're watching. They are watching. All right. There it is. That's the March of the Queens. There's some Zerglings here as well. Ooh, yeah, that's not a fight you want to be taking right now. Sees all the shield batteries, and he's just like, you know what, let's head back out of here again. Let's just go away. There are 4 shield batteries on the way. That's a lot of money being spent right now on defensives. As RAGNAROK just kind of decides, you know what, never mind. Okay, well, shield batteries cancelled. Great job there by Classic. Got to be mindful not to start calling Classic max packs right now, as I've just cast quite a bit of max packs, but... Ooh, get it, get it. Get in. Oh, no, Oracle, Oracle, please. No, Oracle, not like this. That's a lot of adepts. Jeez Louise, he does have glaive as well. I knew he got glaive. I thought he was defensive with this, but... this is a play. This is definitely a play. It could very well just suddenly kill a gazillion drones. Or it could just die out due to a couple of Zerglings right here. More adepts are coming in, but again, only 2 workers have been killed. Feel for a rough start there. For, well, kind of both these players. RAGNAROK would love to be producing drones at this moment in time, but not able to due to the adepts. And the adepts are trading out quite favorably against those Zerglings as well, I would imagine. It's not insanely favorable, but it's okay enough. With, like, Classic his worker advantage here. I think he might be able to start kind of snowballing here. Perhaps, right? He's gonna have some extra immortals. I love this as well. Just getting a couple of extra immortals, even if there are roaches on the map as well, together with those Zerglings. The Adept Immortal, a very good odds of just slaughtering that type of army composition. Ooh, Void Ray, don't die. Don't die, Mr. Void Ray. Important to keep that up. Alright, RAGNAROK coming in again. Strike 2. The Queens have arrived. Once again, the return of the Queen. As the Overlords, are they going to start dumping that creep on top of the Queens? Yes, they are. Alright, we will have ourselves some transfusions as big tumors being plopped down as well. They are going to get picked off, though. Most of them. This is quite the struggle now at this moment in time. The Ravage is still kind of pummeling the Nexus overall. The Brogues are being slaughtered. A lot rougher to see exactly what's happening here now as well. So I would imagine you're going to misclick transfuses onto the Overlords here. Nexus does fall. There's still a lot of Zerglings here. Okay. Let's see. Disruptor shot number 2. There's the Zergling walk around. And there's the Biles right in the center, hitting a lot of those Stalkers. RAGNAROK looks like he manages to push this through yet again. Still, even with things looking a little bit dire, he manages to find a way out of it yet again. GG is called. RAGNAROK takes game number 1. There we are. 1 point on the board for this lad over here, as we are going to move his nameplate up to the correct position. There we are. Alright, now we know who's who. Bottom right side, a Protoss player on his last leg here for the entire tournament. 1 more game loss. And he's out of there. Will he be able to make something happen still? Find his way into the group stage or the bracket phase? There's some other phase in this tournament. It's the bracket phase, right? The last phase of this tournament. It is, of course, the Blue Protoss from Alpha X. Give it up for Classic. The next phase in the tournament, of course, going to be played tomorrow, by the way. We're starting a little bit earlier at 10 AM Central Europe time, which is going to be 8 PM for Koreans. No, wait. It's going to be... Let me think. Alright, if 9 KST is 1, and then we go 3 hours back. So it's going to be 6 PM KST. 6 PM KST. Tomorrow, 6 PM KST. Alright. Hope some Koreans got that. Hopefully some of you will now be aware that we're having more of this tournament tomorrow. Where, of course, we have some pretty juicy players already waiting for us. Let me grab the bracket here. We got Hero. right? Yes, that is hero. That is rogue. We got Bjorn. And then we still have the potential for either max specs, Ragnarok, or Classic to join in as well. All three of those players can still make it work at this moment in time. Now, after this match, that very well could change, right? This is the first match. Well, one of these players can be eliminated. And unfortunately for Classic, he is that player. We'll have to figure out how to remedy the situation. Tough break, but also very, very tough opponents. Stargate once again for Classic. As we wait. Yeah, that adapt ain't going nowhere. Ain't going nowhere, baby. Wouldn't that be a good noise for Void Rays to make when they're shooting? Just like blah, 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 blah. I think it would be. The perverted Void Ray. Putting his long tongue on everything he can. Alright. Will this be a successful bit of air poke harassment? I don't know. Yeah, it's an opportunity here, right? Those drones could just very well quite easily run away also. Void Ray makes it a bit more difficult because the queens want to target down that Oracle, of course, but then the Void Ray might be able to poke other things down. It's only 2 drones. Not bad, not bad. He keeps everything alive. I mean, you're always hoping for, you know, game-ending damage whenever you do anything in this game. But, you know, as long as you don't lose anything, you do a little bit of poke, yeah, you can be happy, right? You just did something that, if you hadn't done it, you would have been in a worse position in this game. Unless if you sacrificed your overall actions per minute to do that, accomplish this, as you haven't been able to macro up correctly, right? That's the other side of that coin right there. It's a scary game. Ooh, the Hydra Den. Oh, are we gonna see the Hydra push again from Ragnarok off of 2 or 3 base? He does have the... Ooh, okay, no, he's going to take the gold base now. Something we've seen from Ragnarok. Rather than pushing with the queens around that timing, right? He pushes with Hydralisk sometimes. It's quite cool to see. Sees the 3rd base. War Prism with a couple of Archons in here. Made the Templar Archives. So no Dark Shrine, just straight up into the Templar Archives. Which could help out, actually, if he is going up against Hydralisk, right? If he gets an early Storm versus a Hydra Ling army, that could be fantastic. A couple of Zealots now as well. Ooh, the Hydra spot at the right time. Are going to be able to pick off the War Prison together with the Queens. And just has to be a little bit careful not to lose too many drones, but doing a good job. Those Archons staying alive as well, as they are now back to the safety of the Protoss village. The village Archon. Overseer getting a good look at what's happening on this side of the map. Sees the Templar Archives producing something, so, well, that can only be one thing. So he knows there's Storm on the way. Let's see if that influences the way he plays this at all. Because, like I said before, I was anticipating him to get a bit aggressive with these Hydralisk. Now, Knowing that storm is on the way, that might change that entire idea, right? That might just put a bit of a dampener on the aggression here. Seeing his army composition. Versus Disruptors, you can at least do a little bit of micro. Oh. Oracle picks off a couple more drones. Upgrades going pretty similarly here for both players. RAGNAROK going for melee upgrade right after the +1 ranged attack, so might already be a bit of an indicator that he's planning to, or that his plan changed a little bit here. Infestation pit, yeah, he's just playing it slow. No aggression whatsoever, and he's gonna get himself into the late game. Classic. Kind of still on the mid-tier section of this game. Only the single Stargate so far. No Disruptors, no Colossi, nothing of the sorts. He only has pretty much Archons, Zealots, Immortals, and High Templar. Now, he does manage to come in here at a bit of a peculiar timing. As 94 army supply versus 60 something. So as long as those Banelings don't get massive connections, this might be a very successful attack for Classic. Classic, though, looks like he got a bit of a headache seeing the attack on the backside of his third base. Really doesn't want to lose this army right now. Playing it very carefully. I don't think he is aware of the army supply difference here. Because this is a terrifying army right now that he has. Especially when facing off against mostly Banelings here. Like, what are you going to kill with these Banelings? And then the Hydras are left. One good storm and an A move could kill RAGNAROK here, I feel like. Classic. Being oh so careful. A little bit of a spread. A good couple of blankets of storms. Here we go. Is he gonna pull the trigger this time around? He's given RAGNAROK so much time to make something happen here, but RAGNAROK only going up with about 20 supply of army. So it's not that big. Banelings, there we go again. Once more, kind of getting dealt with handedly. More storms. Oh, these Immortals not finding a lot of damage, are they? With just Hydra Link Bane on the field, actually. Wants to get on top of that hatchery. A great spread from RAGNAROK, we have to say. Like, he's doing a really good job keeping those Hydras away from potential storm damage. Like, how many Hydras have gone down? He's lost only 4 so far. That is quite something. RAGNAROK starting up Lurkers now. Luckily for Classic, he does have those Immortals, but I mean, it would have been nice to have these fights without Lurkers here, of course. Although, you know what? He's making a good play here, just rotating away from them. He's going to be able to, yeah, tear them apart still and still win that game quite nicely. GG is called. Classic takes game number 2. The first match not going into a 2-0. You guys ever had that thing with balloons where, like, as a kid, you know, you have the regular balloon just filled with regular air? You know, that you blow up yourself, and then whenever you have one of those balloons, you're like, wow, wouldn't it be cool if this one was filled with helium? So it would just float. Wouldn't that be awesome? And you have a helium balloon, and then you realize you can't do any of the games you can with this balloon that you can play with the other balloon, right? It doesn't fall down, so you can't keep it up because that it's too easy. I guess you can keep it down. I guess that becomes the game then. Like a basketball. A basketball that just wants to rise on its own. Yeah, I just wasn't thinking right as a child that I should just play other games with it. I'm just realizing this now. How much of an idiot I was as a kid. Huh. Alright, well, enough about balloons. We got a Stargate on the way. We'll have our very own big Protoss balloon pretty soon. Nothing too dangerous happening just quite yet. Nice and early third base for Ragnarok. Should help him out in this situation. Little adepts. Careful. Just scouting. Seeing the drone numbers. Seeing those drone numbers. Gotta be feeling you up with a sense of security there. Realizing, alright, well, you're not too base all-inning me. That's nice to know. No need to drop down 25 shield batteries all of a sudden. It's just a few Zerglings are coming across, but they're just scouts, right? You're just gonna want to send those across, checking out what the status is of everything. Seeing the third base. Seeing the Cyber Core upgrade something here after Warp Gate is already finished is pretty big as well. Could show him the way that there is a bigger committal towards the Stargate tech, right? We see a second Stargate coming up. That Oracle. Oh, that Oracle getting sniped. That is a real bummer right there for Classic. Something that probably shouldn't happen. Right, those 3 queens were there, but there were a lot of ways out of that situation for him to fly out of it, right? He didn't have to re-fly past those queens right there. And again, he doesn't know where the other queens are, of course. I do. So maybe that's a false assessment to make. But you know what? He's going to figure out where those queens are pretty soon, because they're going to be in front of him. Right in front of his base. Are we going to have a similar amount of shield batteries being plunked down again? We may not have as much money available for Classic at the moment to make full shield batteries with. They are still being produced. There we go. They are coming in. That's a good 3 shield battery worth, and as well as a couple of cannons. Okay, so once more, a lot of static defense being thrown about. Zerglings, Banelings with the assault this time around. They are going to jump right on top of the static defenses. Wow, that is quite strong, isn't it? Thought they were going to go for the probes, but of course you don't go for the probes. You go for the shield batteries, and now the queens are just marching in. Who cares that you don't have transfuse when you can, you know, your opponent doesn't have shield batteries. You don't need it anymore. You just don't need it anymore. Zerglings kill everything. The third base is destroyed. A pile of rubble as Ragnarok goes home with a satisfied grin on his queen's faces here. Quite happy with themselves, I imagine. Still an ungodly amount of Zerglings there, trying to delay this base by even more time. Killing off any probe trying to be sent out across. Of course, you got to be mindful not to waste too many Zerglings doing this, otherwise there could be potential counterattacks. Be a bit more dangerous, of course. Very well, 4th base for Ragnarok, as the 3rd base has to be restarting up in the construction. Zerglings aren't done yet, though, it looks like. Yeah, I mean, you're not going to get this Nexus. You are not going to get that Nexus anymore. Too many Void Rays, as the 2 Adepts there, as well as the Pylon, kind of making the surface area difficult here to really jump on top of it, so it should be pretty good. Get something? No. Just frolicking around, checking the front doors. We are having carriers and disruptors being constructed for Classic already, though. So a very early on, kind of going into that late game army composition. Very gas intensive, and I'm wondering if that is going to be all affordable for Classic here, with only the 2 bases mining for such a long period of time. Overseer, oh no, the Overseer is going to get a scout as well. Sees the 2 carriers popping out right at this moment in time. How many queens do we have? Yeah, the Void Race. It's kind of what you're banking on at this point. I would want to say that as Classic, how do you win this game still? It almost feels like you have to do something with these Void Race at this point, right? And killing Creep Tombs might not be enough. RAGNAROK just growing to quite the formidable economy here. Bit of a ways off of any hive tech. Infestation pit only halfway done, but I mean, he has the tools he needs anyway, regardless, to start making a force that is very much capable of dealing with a carrier disruptor Void Ray. Which is Mutalisk. Mutalisk pretty much counter most of those units, as long as you have enough of them, of course, but ooh, that is nice. That is juicy. That is a big blob of red. Okay, flock of Mutalisk into the main base. How many probes are we going to get? We still need a couple more before this really starts turning into something worth its while. 7 probes. We're starting to get there. 9. Okay, 10. You know what? That's definitely worth. A little bit oversaturated on some of these bases, but the 4th base, nothing there yet. So, going to be tough saturating that fully right now. Ooh, that is not a place you can go into. It's not with 5 Mutalisk. A lot of Corruptors now as well. Kind of was thinking might be the next step here. Mutalisk killing 2 more probes. And now the Corruptors, the Void Race, need to get themselves over here. They're still pretty far away. Actually going to recall the carriers. Trying to just save some of them from the enormous amount of Corruptors that are available. With this amount of Corruptors, I don't know if I like still going for the carrier Void Race here. How many Corruptors do we have actually? 22 Corruptors. 22 Corruptors. That is terrifying. Okay, shield battery overcharge with prismatic alignment. That is still going to beat out over this amount of Corruptors, but that's going to go away soon. What are the numbers now? 17. Okay, that's a lot less. They melt quick, don't they, in those situations? Wow. Maybe I was worried for nothing. Ultralisk starting to become a part of this as well. Fine choice. Though they are also units that die quite quickly to Void Race. Nice harpoons into some Void Race here. There we go. Gets rid of 3 of them. 4. Yep, here we go. That is definitely a great efficient way to deal with these types of armies. It turns around, sees the prismatic alignment about to finish up. And now do we still have enough here in the air to actually defend against those Corruptors? Nice use of the high ground there where the Archons can't move forward, so the Corruptors have a little bit of a safety net in a sense. Classic? I mean, he's got himself a 4th base now. He's staying alive, that is for sure. Has some High Templar out as well. Definitely can still see Classic winning this. There we are, saves one of the Void Rays. What is it being? Trixie. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Nah, it's fine. Kills the gateway with 3 Ultralisk. Ooh, catches the carrier as well. Hello, good sir. Watch out for those High Templars. Finger on the trigger of the feedback right there. Could be quite brutal. Finds another one. Man, the range on those things, it looks quite absurd in some situations. Yeah, this is another base for Classic to be destroyed. I'm not entirely convinced that the army of Classic is capable of defending all these locations at once. Now the Ultralisk going back into the natural base. With Classic just being in one location, either he's having units being picked off by the Corruptors if he spreads out too much, and that's going to be too easy for Ragnarok to do, or he doesn't spread out, but then these Ultralisk, like 2 little packs of Ultralisk on either side, are just moving in and out of that situation. And what are you supposed to do as Classic here? Ragnarok playing this very, very crisp style. Finding himself opportunities left, right, and center. Does lose those Ultralisk. Will lose these Ultralisk as well now. I guess this is how you play against this as Classic. You just let probes die. You replace them with more Immortals, more Carriers, more Void Rays, more Archons. And then once you have like 150 army supply of just insane units, that's when you start pushing. Is this though going to be holdable now suddenly for Ragnarok? Man, I keep switching up who I'm worried for. Right now, I'm definitely worried for Ragnarok. This does not look good. He's going to lose this base 100%. Is he going to be able to keep the rest of his bases alive though? That's a good question. His army supply is going to, well, skyrocket here a little bit, seeing how he... Oh, that's a lot of Infestors going down because of a Disruptor though. He caught a lot of Archons with the Neurals. That's helping out his Corruptors stay alive. But the ground forces, those Queens and Ultralisk, they are not plentiful enough to actually withstand the might of the Protoss DPS. And the Protoss DPS is quite terrifying, guys, right now at this point in time. Zerg units coming in from every which angle, but I don't think it's going to help anymore. Ragnarok has to tap out as Classic takes himself game number 3 and a 2-1 victory. The reverse sweep coming in clean.